Hello, everyone. This is Nirazan with my teammate Trixa and Teza, and today we're going to discuss an analysis we made on how major U.S. Carriers dominate airline revenue through capacity and not fare. So this is the class site that we posted our Tableau workbook on. You guys can go ahead and review our work and give us feedback. So about the data set, we got the data set from the official site of your US government itself. It has detailed information for highest and lowest fare over time. And it has important variables such as airline codes, years of observation, what is the average fare between carriers, between passengers capacity, and the route or market identifier.
Let's dive into our key question and audience. Our guiding question was what drives airline revenue growth, higher fares, smarter capacity management. We designed this analysis for airline strategy, revenue teams, network planners, business analysts, or MBA students who study pricing and operations. For these audience, visualizing the relationship between capacity, fare, and revenue can help guide smarter business decisions. Before diving into our visuals, here is a quick guide to airline abbreviations you'll see throughout all our charts. For example, AA stands for American Airlines, DL stands for Delta Airlines, VN for Southwest, and so on. This makes it easier to interpret the charts. Let's start with this stacked bar chart showing estimated route revenue. Each color represents an airline's contribution to total revenue across routes. What stands out is how only a few airlines dominate, primarily Delta, American, and United. This visually communicates that US airline industry behaves like an oligopoly. A few big players hold most of the market share. The visualization helps us immediately see market concentration without even needing numbers. The visual mass tells the story.
Okay. This next chart compares the top eight airlines side by side. You can clearly see how some carriers outperform others consistently. Airlines like Delta and American show consistently higher estimated revenues, while low-cost carriers like Spirit or Frontier occupy smaller sections. So this chart helped us benchmark dominance visually and understand how much of the total market is concentrated in the top tier. If you look at the next slide, this scatter plot shows the relationship between average fare, passenger capacity, and total revenue. If you could see on the x-axis we have fare, and on the y-axis we have revenue, and bubble size represents capacity. The big insight here is that large bubbles, meaning higher capacity, often correlated with higher revenue, even when fares are moderate. So it's not high prices that drive revenue, it's how many passengers airline moves. This was the first chart that really started shaping our main conclusion about scale being more powerful than price. So if we look at this chart, this area chart visualizes how total airline revenue has changed over time. The rise and fall pattern reflects major industry events, sharp declines after 9/11, 2001, and the 2008 financial crisis, and of course the 2020 pandemic. Yet after every dip, we see strong recovery. This chart visualizes the resilience of the airline industry, showing that while external shocks hit hard, demand and revenue always bounce back. From a design perspective, we refined this chart by reducing labels, softening color intensity, and focusing on shape to let the trend speak for itself.
All right, so for the final but not the least chart, we took down every data for two of the leading airlines, that's Delta and US Airways. And we can see that the lines of these airlines almost moves in a sync with the overall market. It drops during the crisis and quickly rebounds afterward. So it is remarkable how these two airlines managed to stay at the top despite different external shocks. even when fairs fail, they maintain revenue literacy, and it is through their operational scale and route efficiency, and that can be concluded with this particular data analysis too. If we see this from a design perspective, we try to make this chart as minimal as possible, giving two distinct colors for two different lines and just highlighting a couple of data points so that the audience can know where exactly to focus. So our key findings and recommendation included different points. We took the suggestion of our professor, so we didn't focus on the dynamic pricing of the entire industry, but we saw the long-term pricing strategy and how it impacts the overall revenue of different companies across the industry. So we came to the conclusion that the U.S. airline industry operates as an oligopoly, as my friend mentioned earlier. The airliners, in order to grow revenue, must expand their efficient capacity on high demand routes. The pricing is not just a tactical as it sounds. So the carriers must align fare structure with their target customer, and that the airlines that maintain operational flexibility can recover can recover easily after a market shock. So we try to compile everything into a big idea after we did our analysis. So we came up with the airlines industry's long-term success is powered not by higher fares, but by strategic capacity management, data-driven route optimization, and adaptive pricing. This proving that scale, efficiency, and resilience are the true engines of revenue growth for airlines industry. So we tried and thought like a designer while completing this project, and we at the end we concluded this project's name as Pricing the Sky. So we understood how to move Macy data into a coherent visual narrative as we completed the project. We understood how design follows intent as we studied in class. We learned how to read visuals like data stories. And we also understood the link between visual output and business impact, which connects analytics, visualization to business strategy. So through various edits, changing colors, filtering, adjusting access, and renaming titles, we actually learned that great visuals are built to iteration, not created instantly. So in conclusion, we learned that good design isn't when there's nothing left to add, but it's when there's nothing left to remove. So that was us. Thank you for staying with us, and we would highly recommend feedbacks and questions. Thank you.